Once upon a time, in a very beautiful village in the eastern part of Nigeria, lived a very beautiful maiden named Uloma. Her beauty was the talk of the village. Maidens gossiped about how beautiful she was, and every man wanted her as his bride. But Uloma was not interested in any of them. She had fallen in love with Okoro, a very wealthy man in their community. Okoro was a very hardworking man and had always known that Uloma was not only beautiful, but she was also a source of blessing to him. After he got married to Uloma, doors began to open and he was blessed by the gods. He owned so many houses, cars, farms all around the village, and so many other possessions. But Mazi lacked one thing: he doesn't have a child of his own. Mazi and his wife have been married for 9 years, but their marriage was yet to be blessed with a child. During the early years of their marriage, Mazi never bothered about it. In fact, he loved his wife so much and always assured her that they would have their own kids someday. He was always reminding her that all their medical test results have proven that they don't have any medical issue and they were fertile. Whenever people mocked her outside, she always took comfort and solace in the words and arms of her husband. But all this changed one day. It was during their 8 years of marriage. That day, Mazi Okoro went to the elders' meeting as usual, where roasted meats and colas were shared. When it was Mazi's turn to take, he was stopped by a younger man who claimed that he must take before Mazi. Everyone present was shocked because this was strange. The norms was that everything has been shared according to age. That has been the practice since the days of their forefathers. So where is this one coming from? They all wondered. Then suddenly, the Onowu, that is the eldest of them all, spoke up and said, "Bia, Mazi Okoli, what has come over you? Don't you know our customs and tradition again? Or are you trying to tempt the gods?" Onowu asked. Then Mazi Okoli replied, "Onowu," and said, "Onowu, I am not disrespecting anyone. But this meeting is supposed to be for men and not some weaklings. Any man that cannot impregnate his wife after almost 10 years of marriage is not fit to be called a man. He is not supposed to be among the gathering of men. Hence, I won't allow any weakling to choose before me, a father of 6 children. Never." Immediately, Onowu and the other elders present tried cautioning him, but he wasn't done talking. He went further to say, "If Mazi Okoro leave this world today, who will inherit all this wealth that he is amassing?" At this stage, Mazi Okoro stood up and left the meeting angrily. From the meeting, Mazi went straight to his room and locked himself up till the next day, while he kept thinking about all that Mazi Okoli had said to him at the meeting. His wife knocked severally, but he refused to open the door for her. All through the night, Uloma didn't sleep really. She was awake wondering what really happened to her husband when he went out yesterday. Last night was the first night they ever slept apart since they got married, so she was very worried. The next morning, she woke up very early and made Mazi's favorite soup of ofu nubu with assorted bushmeat, azumangala and okporoko, accompanied with fufu. She quickly had her bath, dressed beautifully, set Mazi's food and went straight to knock on his door. Her first and second knock were ignored by Mazi. Then she said, "Dimo Tutu, it is me. I know that you can hear me. Please open the door for me, sir," she said. Then Mazi opened the door immediately. He asked her, "Woman, what do you want?" She answered and said, "My husband, at least answer my greeting now." Next, he resorted angrily and said, "You tell me why I should answer your greeting. What is good about this morning, this woman?" Uloma was shocked and she politely asked her husband, "Dim, what have I done wrong? Have I offended you in any way? Please tell me so that I can apologize. I don't like seeing you angry," she said. But Mazi immediately replied her in a harsh tone saying, You are asking me what you have done wrong, so you don't know. At this point, Uloma became even more confused. In order not to aggravate the situation, she replied playfully, Dim, since you didn't eat last night, I woke up very early and prepared your favorite ofun nobu soup with hot apple. Come and eat before it gets cold, my love. But this made Adi angrier. He said, Uloma, you have made me a laughing stock in this whole community. Everyone now mocks me. Uloma, why have you chosen to disgrace me, Uloma? Why? At this point, Uloma was even more confused. She asked, Nam, what have I done wrong this morning? I only asked you to come and eat. Is that an offense? She asked politely. Instead, Mazi yelled at her, saying, Food, that is all you have offered for almost 10 years of marriage. Food, oh, Uloma. Uloma, your mates are giving their husband children, not food. Please, I don't want food. I want children. I want my house to be filled with children. Then he turned to shut his door. But before then, he said, And please, stop calling me Nam, because I am not your father. It is only my children that have the right to call me father, not you. With this last word, he shut the door. Ulama went back to her room. Her husband, who had been her only source of consolation, has now joined her mockers. From that day, Mazi started making the home a living hell for Uloma. Nothing she does pleases him anymore. He yells and criticizes everything she does. Gradually, Uloma started becoming a shadow of herself. She started going from one hospital to prayer house to herbalists, everywhere just to give her husband the children. But the more places she visited, the more money she wasted because no positive result was forthcoming. Every month's monthly period brought sadness to Uloma. Her home and husband, who were one source of comfort to her, suddenly turned into thorns on her flesh. On the 9th year of their marriage, one night Mazi woke Uloma up because he had something important to tell her. Uloma sat down on the bed and he said, Uloma, I am taking a second wife this year. Uloma couldn't believe what she just heard and she asked, Mazi, second wife? He said, Yes. I have tried. Time is no longer on my side. I need to have my own children. And since you can't give them to me, let another woman do the job, Uloma. Immediately, Uloma went down on her knees. With tears-filled eyes, she pleaded with Mazi to give her more time. But Mazi had made up his mind he was not having it. He said to her, Your crocodile tears won't stop me from going ahead with my decision. In fact, I have already consulted my kingsmen and they have given me the go-ahead. I just need to find the right woman, do the necessary right and bring her home. With these final words, he went back to sleep, leaving Uloma to her fate. From the next day, Mazi and his kingsmen focused on finding a wife for him, while Uloma continued pleading with him just to give her more time. Uloma continued for weeks, but when she realized that Mazi wasn't backing down, she thought of something. She thought to herself that if another woman was coming to share her matrimonial home with her, then she should be the one who can relate with, and not someone who will frustrate her out of the house. So one night, she suggested to Mazi to allow her join in the search for a second wife for him, which he gladly accepted. All through that night, she thought of whom to pick as a co-wife amongst her friends or relatives, but most of them were already married with kids. When it seemed that all hope was lost for her, suddenly she remembered someone, Nkechi. Nkechi was her childhood friend. Although Nkechi was already married, she had a younger sister who was yet to get married. She smiled and said, Tomorrow I will go meet Nkechi so that she can convince her younger sister Amaka to be my co-wife. At least she is my person. She won't trouble me in this house, she thought to herself. Very early the next morning, she left her house for Nkechi's house. Nkechi was surprised to see her friend Uloma at such early hour of the day. She asked, My friend, this one that you come to my house this early, I hope all is well. Uloma answered and said, My sister, all is not well, oh. They are about to remove food from my mouth, and it is only you that can stop that, oh. Nkechi was surprised. Food from your mouth? And it is only me that can stop that, she asked. My friend, you are speaking in parables, oh. Please, talk to me in a language that I can understand, she said. Then Uloma proceeded and asked, my friend, how about that your younger sister Amaka? Is she married now? Nkechi said, no, my friend. We are all hoping and praying that a man will ask her hand in marriage soon. In fact, it has been a source of concern to all of us in the family, Nkechi said. Uloma went on to say, Nkechi, that is the main reason why I am here. Please help me convince her to become my husband's second wife. Nkechi's mouth opened so wide and she said, Uloma, did you realize what you just said? Uloma answered her and said, yes, I know. I have given it a very careful thought, my friend. My husband is threatening to take a second wife and has already given me the go-ahead to help him get one if I can. I came to you because we are one. My friend, you know that I don't like wahala. I don't want any woman to come and chase me out of the house. That is why I came to you, because I know that you won't hurt me, she said. She continued, but this time she was on her knees, begging and weeping. Please, Nne, don't say no to me, I beg you. You are my only hope. If I must remain in that house, please help me convince Amaka to marry my husband. At this point, Nkechi was filled with so much pity for her friend and she asked her to get up. Then told her that she would speak to her sister and other members of the family. Uloma thanked her, got up from her knees and they chatted for some time before Uloma went back to her home. Weeks later, Nkechi was at Uloma's house to inform her that Amaka has accepted to be her co-wife. Nkechi was so happy, she informed her husband and immediately marriage rites were carried out and Amaka joined as Okoro's wife. For months, Amaka and Uloma lived happily together. They loved themselves, shared everything together, went everywhere together. Uloma cared for her as a big sister, while Amaka accorded her all the respect due to an elder sister. There was so much peace and love in their home. Mazi Okoro loved both of them so much. Few months later, Amaka became pregnant. Everyone in the home was happy, with Uloma being the happiest. She took very good care of her all through her pregnancy days and even took her to the hospital on her delivery day. Amaka gave birth to a baby boy. Finally, Okoro has an heir. When they got back from the hospital, Nkechi insisted that she would come for the Omugo and Uloma gladly accepted. While Nkechi was carrying out her Omugo duties, she was carefully observing how her little sister and Uloma lived. She was not happy that her sister was treating Uloma like an elder sister instead of a co-wife. So she told herself that she must change that before she leaves. So at night, before leaving the Okoro's house, Nkechi asked her sister Amaka to sit down so that she will have a heart-to-heart talk with her. She said to Amaka, Amaka, my sister, I have been observing the way you and your co-wife live in this house. Immediately, Amaka smiled and said, oh, you mean your friend, Auntie Uloma? Sister, she is so nice, eh? She has been treating me like a sister ever since I came into this marriage. I love her. Oh. Immediately, Nkechi drew her ear and said, did I just hear you say treating you like a sister? Ha! She is not your sister. Oh. You are co-wives, nothing like sisters. Listen, you have to take your rightful position in this house. Oh. You need to stop being nice to her. Or don't you know that you have given Okoro a son? What she couldn't do for almost 10 years. Amaka, you did it immediately you came in. Oh. You and your son should be Okoro's number one now. Amaka was shocked by what her sister was saying. She said, sister, please, I love the way we are living peacefully in this house. I don't want to start what I can't finish. Oh. Next, Nkechi said, okay, oh, before me Mrs. Goody, until she buy your son. Amaka asked her, why would she do that? He is her son as well. Nkechi laughed out and said, did I just say you say her son as well? Okay, oh. Wait until soap enter your eye. Do you think that she is happy that you have a child before her? My sister, shine your eyes, oh. Henceforth, ensure that you guard your territory. You have upper hand in this house now. Me, I have said my own. Tomorrow I am going back to my husband's house, she concluded. The next morning, Nkechi left the Okoro's house. So Uloma entered Amaka's room in order to assist her in case she needed help. She sat down on the chair, but Amaka asked her to get up. Amaka said, Uloma, get up from that chair. How will you enter my room and just sit down? Did I ask you to sit? Who even permitted you to come in? Did you knock? See, next time, before you enter my room, always knock. In fact, leave. I and my son want to sleep. Uloma was shocked, but she excused herself. Uloma thought that Amaka was having a bad day, but little did she know it had changed. One day, while Amaka was betting, Uloma heard the baby crying, so she rushed to Amaka's room to carry him. But immediately, Amaka ran straight to the room, took the baby from her and gave her, and then warned her never to touch her son ever again. She said, Uloma, please don't use your evil hand to touch my son again. You this evil woman. Uloma. Amaka said, me evil? What has come over you these days? Why are you acting funny? What wrong have I done to you, Amaka? Amaka said, oh, you don't know. I already know your plan. You are not happy that I have a child. You are jealous. You are evil. That is why you don't have your own child. And do you think that I will sit back and watch you harm my son? See, if you want to carry a child, go and give birth. Tears rolled down Uloma's eyes, and she went into her room and cried. She went down on her knees and prayed to God to bless her with the fruit of the womb. In her words, she said, Dear God, I am tired of this shame and disgrace. Please, if I have offended you in any way, which made you to shut my womb, please forgive me, for I have suffered enough. Have mercy on me and open my womb. Please let me conceive, bear and carry my own children, just like my mates. With these words of prayer, she got up and went about her business. Despite Amaka's harsh treatment to her, Uloma never stopped being nice to her. Months later, Uloma was feeling sick. She decided to go to the hospital. Tests were carried out and it was discovered that she was 2 months pregnant. Uloma was so happy. She got home and informed her husband. Mazi was so happy that he even gave Uloma a huge sum of money. His love for Uloma never died. As months passed, Amaka started noticing Uloma's protruding tummy. She thought to herself and said, wait, is this woman pregnant? Ha! She better not be. No, she can't be pregnant. Even if she is, I won't allow her have that child. Lie, not in this house. Since then, she started scheming different ways to make Uloma lose the pregnancy. But Uloma was so wise not to get into any fight with her. Barely 1 week to Uloma's delivery date, one morning, Amaka poured some water in front of Uloma's door and quickly went to her room so that no one would know what she had done. So as Uloma was coming out of her room, she stepped on the water, slipped and fell down, landing on her tummy on the ground. Uloma cried, she started bleeding and immediately she became unconscious. To be continued.